Hey race fan, Brian Davis races, and you can too. Today we are at the home race for Diablo Cycling, and I am so excited. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous cyclocross race day. Let's go check out the scene.
Adam Koenig rides bikes in races, and so also you can do that.
Hey race fam, sorry it took me so long to get this video out, but I'm excited to show it to you. And this, right now, look at the screen. This is where I screwed everything up for this race. Maybe screwed everything up is kind of a harsh statement, but that whole shot, not advantageous. I got second row start because I keep forgetting to register on time or early for these things. I fixed that for the state championships. I already registered. I think I'm the first person in the Masters category to register for state champs, so I will be in the front row, I hope. So here we are. This is our home race, Diablo Cycling. This is my cycling team. This is the race I helped set up. I don't do a ton of work for it. The other guys put in way more work than me, but I show up the day before and use my leaf blower, which is a pleasure anyway, so that's okay. I really like this course. Like when I showed up the day before, I was like, I don't know. You know, it's fairly similar to what we did last year, but there were some changes that I didn't think I liked. But oh man, this course absolutely grew on me. Absolutely grew on me. I was quite pleased with this course. So I just want to back up and show that whole shot one more time. And I'm sorry, the start one more time. It's only called the whole shot if I win it, I've been told by Bailey. All right, let's replay that. All right, restarting the whole shot. Now, if I could have gotten a little, like that gap following RJ on the mountain bike there, if I would have followed him a little bit more closely, maybe I could have shifted over to the right, cut off that heavy pedal rider, and been in second, third, or fourth wheel going into the first straight here, but I did not do that. And I think part of my problem is I was set up on the outside because I wanted to hit this turn from the outside going in, but I think that is way too much thinking ahead and not enough thinking how I'm going to get through the traffic, because you got to solve your first problem first. First problem is how am I going to get to the top three from the start. Second problem is worrying about that first lazy turn, so to speak. So anyway, that's that. So let's get back to where we were racing and magic now. Okay, now we're back in the horse stable, racing through there. I'm going to show you the first lap, and then I'm just going to show you like 2 or 3 edits of things that I maybe could have done differently or whatever. But essentially, the big takeaway from this race for me is that if you're going to make a mistake in a cyclocross race, it is going to come in the first 10 seconds. So you just really need to be on your game in that first 10 seconds, because that start is really important, and then you're going to see another little tactical error coming up here. I don't necessarily want to call it an error, but it's just something I could have done slightly better. Now that I'm looking at footage and I'm warm and comfortable in my house and drinking coffee weeks later, of course, everything makes all the sense in the world, but when you're out there, it's a little bit different. So while I got you for a minute, let's just talk about a few things. As most cyclocross seasons go, I intended to race all the cyclocross races, and of course that has not happened because just life gets in the way, right? So my day job got in the way a little bit. My all the just crap around our house that needs to be put away or dealt with before winter, namely a pool, which, by the way, if your family is going to ask you to set up a pool, I would highly encourage you to not do that. Find some other item that you can placate them with other than a pool. It's a lot of work, and it is really fun to use in the summer, like for 2 days, but other than that, it's just a lot of work. So those are my thoughts on pools. All right, back to the race. Sorry. So I just wanted to talk about real quick about the equipment. So I'm on my Santa Cruz Stigmata. I was struggling with tires. I have new tubulars on order. It's taking forever to get them ordered, delivered, and installed, but anyway, by 2024, I'll be all set with a nice set of tubulars. But as far as 2023 season goes, maybe they'll be ready for state champs. And so there's necessitated me to make some changes with tubeless on my Spinergy wheels here. And I actually really like the setup I landed on here. I think they're Challenge something, they're 33 tires. but they sit so wide on the Spinergy wheels that they definitely sit like 35 or 36. Now, I want to clarify, it is perfectly legal for a master cyclocross racer to run up to 38s, which is what I ordered in the tubulars. My theory there is I'm going to have a big piece of meat under my bike, but because they're tubular, hopefully they'll still be a little bit lighter weight, and I be cost competitive on the weight, but able to carve the turns because I'll have so much more meat and I can run those pressures so low. So I'm looking forward to experimenting with that, but not a lot of people know that you can run 38s. So I can run that all the way to US Nationals. I cannot take those into Worlds. Even amateur masters cannot take those to Worlds. I can only take 33 to Worlds. I have no intentions of ever racing Worlds, so that does not affect me. So I may as well run 38s. And the other advantage of that is it's set up sort of for gravel if you're on 38. So if you want to jump into a gravel race, you want to jump into a cyclocross race, like, you're all set. And it's good to see USA Cycling embracing that, because I think that's generally the vibe of most people, that they're going to dabble in gravel. They're going to do maybe 1 or 2 cyclocross races if they're close to their house or whatever else. So I think it's great to have more tire selection available instead of less tire selection available. Alright, so the course, you can see from the course profile in the upper right hand corner, tons of little twisties and turnies in that section. Just very repetitive with the twisties and turnies, very hard to pass, which is kind of a bummer. There was 2 really good places to pass, and both those spots I need that to rest, so I got past. I did not do any of the passing during the parts that would be good for resting, or good for passing. So we're about to come up to one of those now. These little in and off the berm stuff is super fun. It's really cool. This course is on a convention and visitors, I don't know what you call it, fairgrounds, sorry, in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, just to let you know where you're at. Now here comes a nice straightaway, and I do something, I don't know if I do it this lap or if it's next lap. I think it's this lap. So we're gonna pass this fella here. And then this is where I want to take a rest on the concrete leading up to the hardest part of the course. All the hard part of the course is just about to come up. Everything else you've seen so far has been obviously pretty easy. So what I'm doing here is I don't want to ride right up to these guys. I want to leave a little bit of a gap. This is very purposeful. And then I'm going to hammer it here. Okay, now the next lap that I'm going to show you the clip of the next lap when I do it, and I do it much, much better, and I get a great result from it. So here I passed 1 or 2 guys, I think, right? Not terrible, but this person bobbles, and this is going to be costly for me. If I would have closed that wheel and hit that turn, I would have been in 3rd wheel going into this, but this fellow in front of me has a really hard time getting in his pedals, like a really hard time getting in his pedals. It actually still doesn't get it accomplished until the next turn, I don't think he's actually in the pedals yet. I think he's maybe winding his way in there now. Okay, I think we got it. You got it? I think he's got it. Anyway, this is costing us a big gap. We're going to have to fight. So if I would have been able to close that up, I would have been in 3rd, and you're going to see this separation start to take place here. And I would have been, I think, a little bit more motivated to be in 3rd and stay there. So who knows how the race could have turned out. And also think in those twisties and turnies, there's a few things online that because I had the opportunity to pre-ride the course a little bit more than everybody else. Here's a really good example. My line on this, swing wide, cut across the tops of this berm, cut across the bottom of this berm. You can see how much ground I made up on that rider so quick by just slightly different line selection. I came up with that line the day before because there was like a big divot right before that uphill, and I wanted to avoid that. So that's why I discovered that line, but I actually quite like it. I've been watching a little bit of information on like how F1 drivers look at turns and line choice versus the way other people do, and it's kind of fascinating to see the diagrams of the way an F1 driver tackles a turn versus the way even a professional driver from another discipline tackles a turn. It's very, very different. So I think there's a lot of technique that I definitely don't have in line selection. So there you go. All right. This little chicane here is going to be funny later. Doesn't look like much, but it's enough to screw me up later. And this is going to conclude our first lap. So I'm sitting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th spot. I got 6 breathing down my neck. I'm about to. Here's the barriers. I discovered that I hate barriers, and I really struggled to get back on the barriers after this. I got some new shoes for the last race. I'll show you those when they come in. I'm very excited about them. Although they are gravel shoes, they are not cross shoes because they don't have threads for spikes. So here I'm going to give up a spot. That guy's still not in his pedal. think did you get it? You finally got it. Half lap later. All right, this is the story of my day. I would get to these sections where it's really the only place to pass, and I would just be so gassed that I'd have to rest, and then I would get past. That sucks. So this is that's what I got to work on. I got to work on some other way. Like I should be taking a rest in these twisties and turnies, and not trying to take rest where it's straight and I can actually pass it. Anyway, we're gonna cut this up a little bit. Here is the second lap where I gave a much larger gap to hit this berm really hard with my own speed, my own line, and that proved to be really, really intelligent. So if you come out to this race next year, which I'd highly encourage you to do, think about leaving a bit of a sprinter's gap, if you will, before you hit that berm in subsequent laps, so you can pass somebody on the inside. You can pass them on the outside too. If you get the right line with the right momentum, you should be able to pass one or two people every time you go up that turn. This is another part that kind of messed up. I shouldn't say messed up my race, but watch, my heart rate's already pretty jacked, and every time I get off my bike, it disrupts my entire life. So now I had to get off my bike. My heart rate is, like I said, is already jacked. I'm doing 300 watts and climbing, and now my heart rate's even more jacked at 162. Doesn't seem like a lot, but for me it's a killer. And then you can see my line choice again. I close up that gap pretty quick with that line choice. So that was a killer line choice. I just didn't have an opportunity to exploit it, because every time I'd get into this area, I would give back all the hard work that I just earned. I'd give that back. Watch this. This is so frustrating. By the way, that was a Backbottle, if you're curious. And if you're racing in hot cyclocross weather, I'd encourage you to visit backbottle.com. And if you're racing in cold cyclocross weather, I would encourage you to visit hollowsocks.com. And now we even have hats. This is our new hat. It doesn't have a label yet, because this is actually a prototype one, but 100% alpaca hat. They are glorious, and you can wear it in cuffed mode, like business, or you can wear it in hipster mode, like you're going to work at a coffee shop. Can I take your order, bro? Like, you want a latte? Yeah, works both ways, and the tag flips both ways. Pretty smart. All right, now this is nearing up to the end of the race. Aaron from the pro field was having a rough day, I guess, so I got to race with Aaron for a minute, which was fun. So you can see, like, I'm thinking, okay, I'd like to beat Aaron if I could, right, in this final little sprint just for fun. He's not in my category, but whatever. So we're going to go through these last twisties, and I'm gearing up. I'm ready to sprint. I'm sure Aaron is too, but I'm like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. Ooh, I'm going to get him good. Boom. All right, I'm going to get him. And then watch what I do. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it. And then, oh yeah, there's this chicane, and I'm carrying way too much speed. Okay, sorry, Aaron. Have a good day. And that's going to do it for the race. So I just want to thank everybody for watching. Sorry this took me a long time to get out. My day job, like I said, kind of got in the way of doing some of the YouTube stuff that I like to do. YouTube does not pay any of my bills. I just want to be very clear about that. But if you can like this video, leave a comment down below. It would mean a lot to me. I don't really make any money off YouTube. I think I get like 18 bucks a month roughly. That's the extent of it. So I'd like you to just follow because it's fun, not because I make any money, that's for sure. So if you want to send me your cyclocross video, I'd be happy to do an analysis of that too. So we'll see you next year at this race. And again, just one more plug for supporting. The best way to support me is to buy a pair of socks or a set of tools. hollowsocks.com, fixitsticks.com, or you can even buy a back bottle for cyclocross racing at backbottle.com. All those things I would massively appreciate. All right, thank you, my friends. It's been a real great experience giving you this voiceover, so I hope you enjoy it. And if you're spending time on the trainer, keep going. You got 20 more minutes in you, I promise. Keep going. You can do it, man.